Here with tips on how to get your kids back on track before September, which is like a little more than a week away, is the founder of Baby's Best Sleep, Amanda Jewson. Amanda, good morning. Good to see you.
Good morning. How are you?
Better that you're here, because I'll tell you, people think, let's savor summer. I don't want to ruin it for the kids. It's those long summer nights filled with s'mores and moonlight. But you're like, this is the time to start weaning them back to that schedule so they're not exhausted come September.
That's
and if they're
exactly
exhausted,
right.
you're extra exhausted. So first things
100%.
first, let's go by category, which I love. What about little ones age 4 to 10? What are your sleeping tips?
Yeah, so the little ones are heading to school, some for the very first time. So I'm thinking about our kindergartners who have been napping all summer. Suddenly we take away the nap. Their sleep needs haven't changed. So often parents say, okay, well, now I have school age kids. They need as much sleep as I do. Not true. Those little guys, for our 4 to 10-year-olds, they're going to need anywhere from 10 up to 13 hours of sleep. So in those early hours of school, you're going to want to make sure that you are potentially offering a slightly earlier bedtime just to make up for any lost naps or overexertion at school. For our older children, 10 plus, we're still looking at numbers between 9 and 11 hours. And for our 10 plus kids, those are the kids that are coming home with tablets and devices and laptops for the very first time. My recommendation is make sure that you are pulling back those tablets, devices, and screens. They do impact sleep about 1 to 2 hours before sleep time, and get the devices out of the bedroom ASAP.
All right, Amanda, let's talk about teenagers here. We all know every teenager gets 9 hours. Check that. They don't. What do parents do, Amanda? Please help.
They are in a struggle town right now. Every teen parent is kind of nodding right now because our circadian rhythm shifts when we are teenagers. We want to go to bed later and we want to wake up later. I definitely have memories of my parents coming into my room at like 10 or 11 being like, wake up. But actually, you want to offer a weekend sleep in to your teens because they aren't, to your point, they aren't getting those 9 hours of sleep a night. Generally, our 9 to 5 schedules, they don't work with the teen circadian rhythm. And many teens are starting school between 8 and 9. Number one, you're going to want to allow them to sleep in as late as they possibly can in the morning before school, and then offer that weekend sleep in to make up for any lost hours of sleep during the week.
Now, I love that you say, aside from things like, don't eat too much, or like you said, stimulate yourself, collect the phone so that they're not tempted to be texting their friends in the middle of the night. You say right now, every 2 to 3 days, take baby increments to back up their sleep time. So if they're going to bed at 11 o'clock tonight, make it like 10:45, 10:40, right?
That's right. So what's happening is humans hate going to bed earlier, right? We don't do that well. Later we can do, but it's all about a combination of sleep drive and what your body is used to. And so if suddenly you're going to bed at 12 and you want to go to bed at 10, you can't do that in one day. Your body won't let you. You'll just lay awake and make yourself go crazy. Slowly is the way to do it. Every 15 minutes, every 2 to 3 days until you're falling asleep easily. Once you're falling asleep easily, you're going to pull back another 15 minutes until you're at the desired bedtime.
Finally, Amanda, for the parent who just knows, look, this is going to be a struggle getting my child of any age to do any of this, what's the biggest tip you can give them to get them to the final goal?
Prep them, chat with them, and give them a heads up. So often, parents are unprepared, and I put myself into that category. I feel like I can't believe we're headed back to school in 2 weeks. But if you're sort of throwing your child or your teen into a brand new routine without any prep or warning or a game plan, they're going to feel as kerfuddled as you are. So start thinking about these things now. Start giving your children a heads up. If you have young children, make it fun, make it visual. Have a calendar where you X amount of days. These are the amount of days of schools. This is our bedtime. This is the time that we wake up, and start with a plan and communicate with your kids. Don't throw them into the deep end at the last minute.
It's true. That's the shock, right? And then I think also tell them you're going to feel so much better. Like, I'm a parent, you're going to listen to me, because these kids, they're digital natives. Like, they're so attached to their phones. It's so hard for them. I know some kids that are up till 2 a.m. and then you can't get back to sleep. It's stimulating. So I know you're going to feel like the bad guy, but take their phone, just give them an old school alarm clock. They need to look at a clock, put it wherever the light's not going to affect them, And hopefully they'll get
Yes.
a good night's sleep. It makes such a difference for the whole family. Thank you for these tips. Where do we find more online, Amanda?
You can head to babiesbestsleep.com or find me on Instagram at babiesbestsleep.
Awesome.
Thanks,
Thank
Amanda.
You.
Take care.
Great tips.
Thank you.
Right around the corner, right? School, you got to think about. But the screen thing,
It's huge.
the older I get, because I'm